Well, it started as me and my sister, and it was the boy and girl who trapped the sun, and then we had numerous fallouts, so we split up, and I was getting quite regularly locally around Stornoway, around Scotland, and then I moved to London, got offered a publishing deal by Universal, moved to London, lived there for a while, got a record deal with Geffen, who put out my last album, and then moved home, and I'm currently here.
When was all that? How many years have you been a solo artist, the boy who trapped the sun?
Well, I kind of started doing it straight out of school, so I was about 18, and I was playing in bands and things like that, and I sort of made the choice to take a year out before I went to uni, and I'm currently still on that year out, so that's 10 years. So, yeah, I mean, it was kind of. It feels like it's been quite a long time. I think realistically, it's not been that many years. It makes it feel a lot longer than it actually is, like trying to pack a load of stuff into 10 years. But
what got the big breakthrough? What was the thing that sparked the record deal?
I really don't know. I seemed to just kind of fall into it. It was quite unexpected, really, because I was kind of meandering always. Like, I was always on the outskirts and always on the kind of peripheral of that thing. I didn't really chase it like some of my friends were chasing it when they were making the demos the way the record company wanted to hear them and all the rest of them. I mean, when I got offered my publishing deal, the guy that signed me said, "You're not very good, but you might be good, so I'm going to give you a chance," you know. And that was kind of the thing. I had to learn it. It was like a kind of baptism of fire, really. I just had to learn as I went, and really, like, from getting signed to a publishing deal to what's called a development contract, and then I spent like 2 years of really kind of working and honing my songwriting to get to a point where I was like, felt I was good enough to put out a record, really. So
how many albums have you got out, and is there one in the pipeline at the moment as well?
Yeah, I've had one. I've done a few EPs over the years, and one album that came out in 2010, I think it was. And then I've just spent a couple of years thinking about the next one, but started now, and my kind of plan at the moment is to maybe do an EP before I go into the album, but see how it goes.
Now, I was reading a BBC review of you last night, and they compared you to Jack Johnson. Now, without meaning to be patronising, you come from quite a small place, and to be compared to somebody like Jack Johnson, how is that? How does that sort of fit in your head? It's quite a big deal.
That kind of Jack Johnson thing got picked up on quite early because I like surfing, so it was an easy comparison for people to make. I don't think I sound anything like Jack Johnson. He's quite happy. I seem to be quite morose in my songwriting, but I suppose it's easy. It's a kind of it's an easy comparison. It's a cold water version of something that's kind of comes from the other side of the world. So that's the thing. I think that's the thing. More so with singer-songwriters than anything else, you're constantly getting compared to other people. But that's fine. That's how people kind of associate you, and it's cool. I quite like Jack Johnson. I don't mind that one, really.
Yeah,
he's quite cool. So.
You've been in London and you've been at home for a little while. Where is it easier to write songs?
Funnily enough, it's easier to write songs in London, because you have the image of being at home. Like, my songwriting's always been kind of based on the fact that I'm from a place where how would you say it? The area, the sparseness of the land kind of influences on how you write. Like, I try and write very simply, and the music and all the rest of it is, I try and kind of keep a lot of open space and just simple kind of, you know, I think that's the way you're kind of reflection on the way you're brought up, really. It's a simple lifestyle living in the middle of nowhere, and you kind of, you know, reflect on that. But being in the city, I think it was just because I was afforded the opportunity just to do nothing but write songs, and every day I wake up, sit in the studio and write songs, and just really, really do it. So now when I come home, I live at home now, but when I'm at home, I sort of find other things to do with myself rather than just sit and write songs. And so you have to it's just distraction, really. Maybe that's not a reflection on the place. Maybe that's just a reflection on me.
Yeah. Now, you've had some pretty big performances over the years as well. Just run us through a few of your favourites that you've played.
I've been lucky. I've got to do some really cool stuff, and I got to go to America a few times, and got to play in Russia and strange places like that. But yeah, I think probably it's hard. It's hard because they all kind of blend into one big like kind of thing. It's like standing, like walking out onto a stage in a big festival, and even when you're kind of first or second on, and you're thinking, what am I doing here? You know, it's a strange thing. We're having a dressing room next to Bruce Springsteen's, and he comes to say hello. It's a very surreal experience. But, yeah.
Is it enjoyable?
It's really enjoyable. Yeah. I probably didn't take full advantage of it like some people would have. I was always a little bit skeptical of it, but yeah, it is. It's fantastic. It's such an amazing opportunity to meet your heroes and play at festivals and kind of see that kind of you think about that when you're starting out, that kind of magical idea of the backstage life, being in a festival and be able to go and hang out with all the people that are playing and play and have people asking for your autographs and all that kind of stuff. But it's cool, but it's a byproduct. It's, you know, it's not what's important, really.
Yeah. And this week it was announced that you're playing at the Hebridean Celtic Festival as well. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, I am really looking forward to that. I did it, I think it was 2 years ago I did it, and it was sort of when I was at the end of the touring for the last album, and I was a bit kind of burnt out by it all, but this time it'd be nice to come back to it and be like the first thing I do for a new kind of bunch of touring and a new EP coming out and stuff like that, hopefully, so that'd be nice.
What sort of timescale are we looking at for big announcements from you for over the next year, maybe?
Well, I think once I kind of get into it, I think everything will happen quite quickly. I'm just going to do stuff myself for the first while because it's just easier, it's just quicker, you know. I'm going to do an EP, I'm going to put it out, and I'm just myself just to get some new music out and get back on the road, and so hopefully it'll be quick. Depends on me though, I'm pretty lazy sometimes.
One thing I never mentioned was that you did a bit of a soundtrack for Hollyoaks, I believe. Tell us how that came about.
I don't even know. That was so weird. I'm not going to lie, I really hate that programme. It's like the worst television programme ever. But that's the people... I got a phone call one day and they were like, your song's going to be used in Hollyoaks. And I was like, cool. And they're like, we thought you'd be more excited. Like, nah, not really, but that's cool. I was really excited the day when they told me it was going to be on Country File.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that was wicked.
Yeah.
I was well chuffed with that. But I think that's probably says a lot about me.
What's been the career highlight? What's been the best bit so far?
I think the best bit was when kind of got the album finished, and I got a copy of my album and it was finished and it had the Geffen stamp on the back of it, and it was just kind of like to be associated with a company that kind of signed Nirvana, and you know, it sounds kind of superficial, but it was such a cool thing. It was like kind of recognition or something. That was really special, just holding the physical product in my hand, and that was kind of nice. Yeah, that was a cool moment. Any
ambitions? Anything that you still aim to achieve, or are you just going along and taking it as it comes?
I just like to kind of keep on enjoying doing it. That's the main thing. I don't have any interest in kind of being famous or kind of anything like that. It's just if people are still willing to come and see me play, and I'm happy to be writing songs and enjoying it, then that's the ambition, really.